Guys, we have two American Honda built SUVs for families from two very different perspectives. One is the 2020 Honda Pilot Black Edition, and the other one is the Acura MDX A-Spec. They're interesting vehicles, they have a lot in common, but they're very different at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, both of these vehicles are on the same architecture. They both have the same engine, they're both three-row SUVs, and they cost $6,000 apart. So in this video, we're gonna compare them, see which one is best for your needs, and we're also gonna do a little bit of a drag race and see which one is quicker.
Here it is, the Nexen Tire Nexen Hero Jeep Wrangler JL. It's a giveaway Jeep. Nexen Tire partnered with Purple Heart Foundation, All J Products, and Rugged Ridge to build this Jeep to what you see here, and then give it away to one of our veterans. Very, very cool. You can enter the contest by submitting your story to Nexen Tire, and they'll pick one winner at the end of this year, 2019, and give away this really cool Jeep.
Use the link in the description below.
This is the Black Edition. Black. Yeah, it's because it's all black. I mean, they painted everything they could black with the exception of this that says Black Edition, and then in the back in the bigger thing it says Black Edition. The cool part is, if you're a Steelers fan or a Raiders fan, not so much if you're a Broncos fan, the idea of having a black vehicle, all I have to do as a Steelers fan is just put like a yellow stripe on it. Not only will it make it faster, but it'll announce myself to the world saying I am indeed a Steelers fan. The thing is that this is a top of the line version, right? This is the most expensive form of the Honda Pilot. Otherwise, it is basically the same vehicle.
This is the 2020 Acura MDX A-Spec. And what you need to know about the MDX is it's kind of a sporty three-row crossover. And unlike previous models, this new version looks really pretty good. I love this grille. They've finally gone away from that horrible beak that Acura was pushing for so long. We've got full LED headlights here on the front. It's just a much better looking car than that Honda Pilot, even if it's not as sinister.
I really like the Acura, I truly do, but there was one thing that really annoyed me about it, and that was when I was looking over my shoulder to back out of my driveway. This is almost useless, this section of the glass, right? Look how small that is, and if you look on the inside, it's, frankly, you can't see through it. It's just useless. But over here, Honda said, well, we have that large stamping anyway, let's just take that section out and actually make a usable piece of glass sit here. And that's exactly what they did. And by doing that, you look over your shoulder, you can actually see a little bit, which actually does help. Okay guys, it's the Black Edition, but it doesn't mean that it's any faster. That's because it has a 280 horsepower V6 that puts out 262 pound-feet of torque. It's a 3.5 liter Earth Dreams, and it's hooked up to a 9-speed automatic transmission. It's got great get up and go. As a matter of fact, a long time ago, Roman and I had a chance to drive this vehicle versus the Toyota Highlander V6, and this thing spanked it 0 to 60.
What'd you get? Oh no.
Twice.
What?
9.94 twice. It's funny because the Toyota feels faster, but this is faster, especially in sport mode.
Now, even though the MDX is trying to be a lot more sporty than the Honda Pilot over there, the powertrain is virtually identical. So this is a 3.5 liter V6, basically the same 3.5 liter V6 as the Pilot, but it develops 10 more horsepower and 5 more pound-feet of torque, and it's made to a very similar 9-speed automatic that goes to all 4 wheels.
Alright, Roman's gonna start us.
Hey guys, you too can come out here to IMI Motorsports and rent the track or go motocrossing in the dirt. Just click on the link below and have a bunch of fun. Alright, time to line these guys up.
So in the Acura here, a little bit more power and I weigh about 70 pounds less, and so does the car. So we're gonna brake torque it. And off we go. Oh, Ooh, pretty dramatic result actually.
10 more horsepower, he's got more torque.
Wow, not a bad time at all in the Acura MDX. 0 to 60 in 7.87.
That went exactly as I expected. I mean, you got more horsepower, you got more torque.
Yep, yeah, you're right. Let's swap drivers, see if that has anything to do with it.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Welcome to the interior of the Black Edition. Now, actually, it's a pretty cool interior for what is basically a 3-row family hauler. And that's because, aside from having black leather and the Black Edition printed on the seats and on the floor mats and stuff like that, it has the raised stitching, which I like, and just as importantly, it has this infotainment system, which has improved vastly, partially because it has a volume knob. I know that sounds crazy, but you would be surprised how many people complained when Honda got rid of the volume knob. So they have that. The overall layout is pretty good. Not everybody is fond of this. Follow my hand down here. This is your push button transmission. Now, my problem with it has been simply that I have to stop, look, and push buttons. I'm just not a big fan of it. I much prefer a lever. And some of you do as well. Overall, this interior is remarkably comfortable. Tons of space. I mean, I can look at, I mean, I'm a pretty tall torso. I'm looking straight up with the hat. Bill's not even touching. Great elbow room, great shoulder room, very good comfort. Not a bad place to be.
The inside of the A-Spec MDX is a lot more fun than the inside of the Pilot. So first of all, we've got these red accented seats that have a lot firmer bolstering than the Pilot. I mean, it's no M3, but it certainly holds you in place a little better. And then you've got this steering wheel with this really cool kind of perforated material along the edges, and of course your up and down paddle shifter. Starting up the MDX, you get a red start button. Oh yeah, how about that? But that's kind of the best part of the MDX, because the rest of it's a little bit overcomplicated. Here's what I mean. So we have two screens here. Up top we have one separate screen for the navigation, and then down here we have a screen for climate control and your audio controls and just about everything else. And it's just a little bit too much. So for example, I have to go into a separate screen to turn on my heated and ventilated seats, and there's just like 6 or 7 or 8 different options for both the driver and the passenger. And the navigation screen is just a little bit hard to use, and you control it with this dial down here, which feels like it should be for the bottom screen. It's just all a little bit too much. Having said that, I think the overall interior quality is a little bit higher than in that Pilot. Now, before you leave an angry comment that this is a stupid comparison because the Pilot is so much bigger, you may be surprised because they both ride on the same 111-inch platform. In fact, the MDX is 0.7 of an inch longer, but the Pilot is 3.2 inches taller.
That's right, and it's actually slightly wider. The thing is, everyday usage, they're pretty close, but that difference does make all the difference to some people. If you're really short, you're gonna have a hard time getting stuff on the roof, okay? Think about it that way. If you're really tall, having a taller roof really does help, because people like Roman and Tommy, who are freakishly tall, their hair is not going to touch the roof. I mean, when your dad's toupee flaps back, it doesn't touch anything inside this vehicle. The most important part is that extra space is great for passengers as well. Really, the most important part of a vehicle like this is passenger comfort, because why bother otherwise, right? All right, so second row, these are captain's chairs. Obviously, you can get other versions that have a bench seat. Yeah, it's not too bad. And the cool part is, it slides. And that becomes really important when you're in the third row. And that's the best part about this video, putting the fat guy in the third row. Now, you push one button, which is back here, and it'll automatically, boop, slide forward. Now for me, I'm 6'1", big guy, not exactly the most comfortable place to be. with my legs up like this and the seat so low, I kind of feel like I'm in a gynecologist's office or something like that. It's a little uncomfortable for big people, but I have good headroom, good shoulder room. That is awesome. I have a kid who's about 5'7", no problem back here at all. And here's the other good part. Because the seat slides, see it's sliding, you can cut the difference in terms of space. So really tall people and really short people can make it work.
Stepping into the rear seat of the Acura, you have this pretty supportive bench seat with the cool red accenting. Once again, this is the A-Spec model. And down here, automatic climate control with 2.5 amp USB ports. All that's good. What's not so good is the fact that compared to the Pilot, you lose an inch of legroom both in the second row and the third row. This row, just like the Pilot, also moves backwards and forwards. Now to get into the rear seats, it's virtually the same button actually. And that folds forward, and then I can get into the third row, which unfortunately does not have the cool red accenting and is also a little bit of a penalty box, at least compared to that Pilot. So check this out. Not only am I also visiting the gynecologist, but now I also need a haircut as well because I lose 3 inches of headroom back here compared to the Pilot, and I'm 6'2", and it's pretty bad back here if you're over, let's say, 5'9", 5'10". I mean, you're just gonna be quite uncomfortable. Now, unlike the Pilot, I don't have 3 seats back here, just 2, but I also have 3 seats in the front here, so they both can hold a maximum of 7. One thing that is pretty cool is check these out back here. These speakers, these look like something straight out of a powerboat, and it gives rear seat occupants a really cool sense of sound.
All right, so here's one of the benefits of having a higher roof and frankly a larger vehicle. That's back here. Aside from passenger comfort, you get more space, more usable space. Now, look at this. You got a pretty good sized cubby here. Now underneath this, there is a spare tire. I know, I should be talking, right? This is a much more usable space, a user-friendly space, and look, guys, you're gonna have a dog or two. You're gonna have all these kids. Would you rather get a Honda dirty or an Acura?
It's probably no secret, but the trunk of the MDX is smaller than the Pilot's. Still a very large space. The 3-row lays completely flat. I do have, just like that Honda, a little cubby under here with a spare tire that'll drop down from the bottom, just like that vehicle. Now, of course, this entranceway is significantly smaller than the Honda, but none of that matters because of what's down right here. Check it out. I have these really rad, genuine dual exhausts, and the Pilot just doesn't. And this makes this rear end look so much more complete. Okay, 0 to 60 in the Honda Pilot. Nathan is in the MDX next to me, so this is our second drag race. Let's see which one is quicker.
All right, I'm in sport mode. Here we go.
Oh, it won't let me brake torque it nearly as high. What the heck? That's interesting.
Oh yeah, off the line, this thing has a lot more kick.
Oh, it's a little bit closer, but the MDX is still faster. 40. 60 there. Much worse brakes, but actually not that much slower. 7.97, so about 0.1 of a second slower.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't have the best launch, but it's still pretty much what I expected. I mean, once again, more horsepower, more torque.
Yeah, but they're pretty close. I mean, it's not that much of a difference.
It's not embarrassing.
No, not at all.
There you go.
Nathan, the Honda Pilot comes in at about $50,000, and that Acura MDX comes in about 56 grand. Which one would you take and why?
I totally would take the Acura, but I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be the Honda, because the Honda, I'm a family guy. You'll be there one day. The thing is that with the Honda, it has more space, it's more usable space, and it just makes sense for an idiot who has kids and dogs and all this other stuff that they put in there. But personally speaking, if I had my own choice and I didn't have to worry about that as much, the Acura, it's way more fun.
Now, I do agree the Acura is far better to drive, but the Honda, for some reason, gets 1 mpg better combined. It's $6,000 cheaper, and it's only 0.1 of a second slower out here on the racetrack. So I actually have to give it to the Honda on this one as well, even though the Acura is a much more luxurious car.
All right, there you have it, guys.
As always, this is Tommy.
And Nathan.
Head over to tflcar.com for the latest and greatest in Honda versus Acura reviews.
Bye.